I'm extremely worried about the US stock and housing market in 2022. Here is why. I'm so in love with you. Even though the Fed is trying its best to control inflation in the US, as I told you in the previous videos, the Fed had decided that it would raise interest rates at least 3 times in 2022. I'm afraid that the Fed decisions can only scare stock and housing investors. It may not control inflation as it expected. Here is why. Now, whether or not we can control inflation in the US is not only dependent on Fed decisions. We need to look at two other factors. The first factor is how effective the Chinese zero COVID case policy is. Why do we need to worry about the Chinese policy? Because China is the major suppliers to the US market. Furniture, clothes, food, you name it. Most of the products are from China. From the recent news reports, even though the Chinese government had a very good heart, it wants to contain COVID case to zero case, this policy, as far as we can see right now, is not as effective as is expected. Several major Chinese cities are currently under lockdown. What does this mean? This means we will have a product shortage in a very near future. The second factor we need to monitor and closely look at is the Omicron surge in the US market. Why do we need to worry about this case? Because Omicron surge can cause labor shortage in the US. That will make the supply chain disruption even worse. In the future, that means you may have money, you may have cash, but you may not be able to buy any product. That's my concern. Under these market conditions, what should we do when we invest? I want to separate the invest into stock investor strategy and housing investor strategy. In the stock market, I would suggest everyone that before we are clear about the COVID case in China, in Europe, in the US, we want to invest less in stocks. At this moment, protecting your wealth is more important than making more profit in the stock market. That's why I suggest you investing less in stock market before we are clear about the COVID situation. For housing investment, I do not recommend everyone to buy newly built houses. Because of the labor and material shortages, as I just introduced to you, the newly built houses will be extremely overpriced in 2020. You just cannot get as many values from newly built houses as you can get from existing houses. Second, do not flip houses. As I keep telling everyone, the price increase rates will not be as fast as before anymore. You won't be able to get a quick profit as you could in 2020 and 2021 by flipping houses. It's just not worth it. But for 2022, I think cash is king. Having cash is extremely important in 2022. Why? Because inflations are out of control already. Even though I respect the Fed decision and actions, but I think at this moment, Fed alone cannot control inflation in the US. We need to look at other factors, as I just told everyone. I really wish the following scenario will not happen, but I just feel that basic food, water, clothes, and housing can be in extreme shortage in 2022. What does this mean in the future? That means the basic food, water, clothes, and housing will be more expensive. So having cash will give you enough buffer if the prices of these basic products increase in 2022. I don't want to use a scary headline to get your attention, but from what I see in the market, in the stock market, housing market, the things just don't make sense to me. I want to provide this video to everyone, share my thought with everyone, so that we can all plan a new year ahead better.